the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly. Just grab my hand from heaven send. With me tonight, I run away. I run away.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Budget Aquatics. My name is Alex. So I'm making this video because I think this is very important. I did have some videos that I wanted to release prior to this, but just so happened this incident happened, and I just feel like it's important for you guys to know. So as we all know, issues happen with keeping aquariums, and the most important one is when you lose power. So if you're not following the news, I live in Pennsylvania, and over the weekend we had a pretty bad snowstorm with very, very high winds, so bad it was knocking over trees all over the state. So I just happened to not be home for that event. Friday morning I left for training as I'm in the Army Reserves, and I got back Sunday evening. So during my time away Friday, we had a big storm that hit. It hit my home area pretty hard, so much so that my friends have lost power since Friday evening and still don't have it back. Excuse me, and still aren't expecting it back until Wednesday. So this is to give you an idea of the scope and magnitude of this storm that hit us. So Friday evening, my girlfriend got out of work early because it was too bad out, and she let me know that she wasn't able to come to my house in fear of getting stuck and for safety reasons, so she went to her house. Apparently what I believe happened is I lost power probably for a couple of hours. When she returned to my house in the morning, Saturday morning, my Pico tank was looking pretty grave. She informed me that my tail spot blenny had died. The temperature was in the 60s. My return pump was not functioning. I walked her through steps of trying to reset the return pump, unplugging it, plugging it back in, nothing. So I believe what happened is when the power returned, it fried the pump, even though that was connected to a power strip which has safeties in it to prevent stuff like that, and that power strip was plugged into a power bank which also had safeties as well, and still I guess it did nothing. The return pump fried itself and was no longer functioning. So temperatures dropped. I did not have my heater in the aquarium, as that heater is too powerful for this aquarium. It's rated for up to, I believe, 5 gallons or so. I have to double check, but even with that, it's producing too much heat and it's not regulating itself properly. It's supposed to maintain a temperature of 77 degrees Fahrenheit, but that isn't happening. Actually, it's going way above into the 80s. So I try to keep it unplugged and let the heat off of the pump running, heat up the aquarium, as well as I keep the room ambient temperature up. So long story short, temperature dropping the tank into the 60s, lack of oxygen, no return to the no water flow returning to the aquarium, and tail spot blenny didn't make it. The yellow striped ORA goby is still there. He survived. I walked her through aerating the tank. I had one of those air pumps, so I hooked one of those up. I told her to hook one of those up. but I still forgot to instruct her to hook up the heater. So even until I came home Sunday, the tank was still in the 60s. However, nothing else perished, just the tail spot blenny. My snails were fine, my copepods were fine, my shrimp was fine, and that was a huge incident averted. However, all my beneficial bacteria that was in my sump and my refugium was dead. I had to dump that out and clean everything out. I took all my sponges and my ceramic, a little ceramic media, and I placed them into my main aquarium so that they can get repopulated with beneficial bacteria. Then I'll reintroduce them to the system, as the rocks and sand in there contains enough to keep the system going. So yeah, so that happened. The tank was looking terrible. The odor was pretty intense. But through it all, everything went well. I also took a loss in my freshwater aquarium. One of my favorite fish in there died as well, and that was my Pseudogastromyzon Fangi. I'm pretty sure that's the species that I had. That was one of my favorite fish, lots of personality. I've had him for almost a year, and the lack of oxygen, as that fish is a very oxygen demanding fish, it couldn't survive. However, I did introduce 2 butterfly hailstream loaches in here, and they're fine. I don't know if it was the oxygen that killed my Pseudogastromyzon, or was it some other issue. I have no idea. Came home, I saw something that the snails have been feasting on for a couple days, and I figured it was him. It looked, body structure looked like it was him. I then proceeded to count the rest of my fish, and I'm confirming as of now that it was in fact him, and he did die. So that one kind of hurt, because I found him in a Petco on accident. I believe they were meant to have regular butterfly hailstream loaches, and he got confused in the shipment somehow, and he was the only one there swimming around, and I did get him for a good deal. So that's sad that that event happened. That one really hurt me, but that's life. When you're keeping aquariums, things happen. But other than that, everything went well. Actually, I came home, my girlfriend surprised me. She did get me another goby, as the fish store was having 15% off all fish, and she got me a shark-nosed ORA goby, who's doing well in there with my yellow striped goby. They're having a blast swimming around. She also got me a green bubble tip anemone. I always have trouble saying that.
Okay, don't hurt yourself.
Anemone. Okay, anemone. Alright, green bubble tip anemone. And that's doing well. I had to go ahead and put a sponge over my wave maker so that he wouldn't get his tentacles in there, and yeah, that would not have gone well. So that's what happened. I do have a generator, but she was unable to come here. She was afraid that she would get stuck. So my generator did me no good, as there was no one and no way to get it running. So I am going to invest in a battery backup for each one of these aquariums. I believe it's absolutely necessary. Even though you have a generator, you might not have fuel for that generator right away, or you might not be able to get it started right away, or an event like mine, an issue like mine, where no one was able to get here to fire up the generator. Now, if you have an automatic generator that auto turns on and just figures itself out, that's awesome. I can't afford one of those. I live in an apartment. I'm not gonna rewire the place to accommodate such a failsafe. So I'm gonna invest in some battery backups. At least that can buy some time so that someone can get here to then fire up the generator. So that's what happened, guys. I'm gonna give you an overview of the tanks, see how everything's doing. But I did lose my tail spot blenny in the Pico tank. The coral is still recovering. They're not doing so hot. My euphyllias aren't doing so hot, but they are recovering. And the freshwater tank, I lost a pseudogastromazon Fangi. He's gone. But everyone else is in there doing very well. Fantastic. My emerald green cories are still laying eggs. They're going at it. My snails are still laying eggs. So I want to do something else to this tank, introduce another fish, but I'm still trying to find it. So bear with me. I don't like ordering fish. I just figure I'll wait it out, take my time, and see if I come across it somewhere. The main display had no losses. I did not lose anything in my main display. I don't know why, but everyone made it. This is the second time that main display has gone through a power loss for hours, and I don't know, I guess I picked some pretty resilient fish. And coral, I did not lose any coral, I did not lose any fish. So alright, so now I'm gonna go ahead and show you the tanks, and so you can see how everything fared. So here it is, guys. Here's the tank one more time. I know you guys are probably getting tired of seeing the tank, but there's a lot of changes, so it'll be a little different video for you guys. As you can see, I added a couple asters. One is dead. I added 3, but he was dead prior to this event, and now I have 2 left. As you can see, the euphyllias are doing well. There goes my yellow stripe ORA goby, and there next to it is the shark nosed ORA goby. Zoas are doing well. Recordia is doing okay. This Zoa rock isn't doing so hot right now, but we'll see what we can do about that. Might have to move it up a little bit. But bumped up the filtration a little bit. I added this is a grow light because I replumbed the entire system to switch. This was, if you watch my prior videos, you'll know this was my sump. I changed it into a refugium. So these are just regular sponges, that actually fluval sponges that are meant to go in some of their canister filters and hang on the back filters. And I just glued them up and placed them over some 1/2-inch piping so that I won't be sucking in any of the Chaeto that I just introduced into this. Now this is pure Chaeto. It doesn't seem to have any other macroalgae in there, as I know a lot of the other macroalgaes, especially the caulerpas, tend to outgrow the Chaeto very rapidly. So I ordered this so that I didn't have any issues with any other algae interfering with outcompeting the Chaeto. So I have a grow light here. You're gonna see a review for that. I just put it on, so we'll see how well it fares. It's dimmable. It also has 2 different spectrums, and you can combine the spectrums, the different lights. So we'll see how this does. I'll do a review and an update on that in the future. I did build a makeshift door for the system. It does its job right here. I set up a new sump down here, and this usually has some ceramic media in there, but it's currently in the main display, just repopulating it with beneficial bacteria. Then I will be introducing it back to this. And then down here I have my ATO. So that's pretty much it. I just redid it, used up the space that I had. I'm curious to see how this Chaeto grows, and then I gotta redesign this lighting, this grow light, to not look so out of place. But moving on to the freshwater tank. If you're wondering why I have this wood here, I do have a golden killifish, golden wonder killifish, and I've lost one before because it jumped. They love to jump. They're designed to jump. And so I just put a piece of wood here. So far so good. I will be coming up with a top for this sooner or later. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Now if you look in this corner right here, you'll see this thing waving around. That's what's left currently of my Pseudogastromyzon fangi, as the snails have been rapidly feeding on it. Sucks. I'm not gonna take it out. You may be saying, "Wow, you have tons of snails in here." Yes, I do have a snail infestation, but I have a plan for that. I'd rather not just take them out and waste them. I'd like to get something cool that's gonna actually be able to feed on them. Well, I was going to show you guys the massive eggs that was laying on this leaf. As you can see, some still here, but my fairy cichlids, I have taken a liking to eating them, and now that's all that's left. This entire leaf, believe it or not, was covered in cory catfish eggs, and now they're all gone. But here's one of my hill stream loaches. There's another one on the back here. You can see everyone in there. Everyone's doing well. Tank's still dirty. I kind of like the river-esque setting of this. I don't like it squeaky clean. I really do like how everything looks. I think the fish actually really enjoy it as well. I think they take a liking to it. There goes my golden wonder killifish up here. I think they really enjoy the naturalness of it. So I'm probably gonna keep it like this, but I am gonna introduce something to deal with these snails. Moving on to the main display. If you're wondering what's this is actually just microalgae that I have taken out of the refugium, so that the fish, the clownfish down here, can have some room to swim. They will be out of here very, very shortly. I'm working on that tank for them today. There is the main display. Again, everything survived. Everything's doing well. Got to move some things around, but all in all, it's all good. Coral are all fine. They're not the happiest. I got to do a water change. Something knocked over my stuff. As you can see, this is what happens when you have snails and you have hermit crabs. They tend to knock things over a lot. So as you can see, if you can see that lighter spot right there, the one to the right is where this coral was, and the light spot to the left is where the zoas back there was. And somehow they've both been knocked off, so I gotta replace those in a minute. But all in all, that went well. All in all, that went well. We avoided a catastrophic event that could have occurred, and everything came out on top. So you always have kind of a fail-safe, and you always kind of have backup equipment that you can use, and you always set up your system with things failing in mind. That way, you know, your system can handle, even if it's for a few hours, but it can handle some issues without you losing everything. Now mine was just by pure luck. I'm not gonna brag and say it was due to my diligence that everything survived except the tail spot. It was just by luck, because I was not home for 3 entire days, and yeah, almost no fail-safe would probably work in a situation like that. But that's it. But that's it, guys. So we did what we could. Couldn't save everything, but almost everything's alive. So 2 losses I can deal with. It could have been a lot worse. Could have lost, all of them, and I only lost 2. So take a word of advice from me: get battery backups. I know they're expensive. I'm gonna see if I can find a more cost-effective way to do a battery backup, or use something else that's on the market. And if I do discover something, I will let you guys know what I did and how you can do it as well. But I will also leave equipment that I believe are worth buying in the description, and Amazon links to them or eBay links to them, as that's pretty much the only two places I shop for my equipment. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to me. My name is Alex, if you don't know that already. This is Budget Aquatics, and don't forget to leave your comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I know a lot of you guys watch and maybe don't like. If you truly don't like the video, let me know why. I like some corrective feedback, something that I can do to improve the video and improve the overall experience for you guys. But if you did enjoy the video, please take the time to like. I found myself not liking videos that I've watched, and now I try to do my due diligence to make sure I first like the video, then I watch it, and if I don't like it or I didn't like something about it, then I'll either unlike it or leave a comment why. I don't do thumbs downs. I just don't feel like it's necessary. I think it's best to leave a comment as to what you did or did not like about the video, and just don't like it. Don't hit the thumbs up if you didn't like it. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.
Maybe you should take it slow.